Hey, thanks for listening to another episode of What's Offensive Weekly. I'm Scott, and this week Jeff and I are going to continue our conversation about racism. So if you didn't hear last week's episode, make sure you go back and listen to that first. Now, this week we're going to look at words or phrases that have a racist origin. And then we're going to ask and we're going to try to answer a really important question, and that is, just because something has a negative origin, can it be redefined? So, thicken your skin up. It's What's Offensive Weekly. All right, so listen, there's this other thing that I saw that I thought we could maybe speak to. So let me find this little article here. It was, and I'll tell it you guys so you guys can read this as well. Let me find this real quick. ESPN had they're the ones who had the article about the 4 fans were ejected for racist taunts at Smith Pelly. So you can find that on ESPN. Here it is. These words or phrases have racist origins. Okay, so we're going to talk about this. This is off a website called Lifehacker, and the article, the contributor was Patrick Allen. This was posted on February 15th.
Okay.
What I'll try to do is I'll put links to this on our webpage so you guys can check these out a little bit later. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to kind of walk through these. And Jeff, what I'd love for you...
Can I write on your paper? I just did.
Do me a favor.
Shit.
And
okay. I had to write a note to myself.
So what you guys can't see is I have this stack of newspapers that I've been collecting.
Okay.
This like me just writing a note on your Spider-Man 1.
Yeah, these things? You're collecting these things?
I'm collecting them. Look at underneath there. There's one from when the Cavs won the NBA Finals.
What's 30,000 feet?
That was when 30,000 was when he
Jesus Christ. Dude, this is
so
LeBron
he literally
stuff.
just wrote on 30,000 feet.
I'm going to get you a new one. Hey, if anybody out there has a Wednesday, January 24th, 2018 sports section of the Cleveland Plain Dealer, please give it to me.
Because he just wrote on it in Sharpie.
Origin.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to just kind of read through some of these.
Okay, I'm good.
These terms.
Go ahead.
And we're going to talk about it. Now, this one, I'll be honest with you, this was a term that I had been using for much of my life, probably since childhood, and never understood what it was or anything. So we're going to ask ourselves this question: is this really racist? Ready? It is the term gyp. What a gyp, or you gypped me.
Wait. All right. This is what we're going to do. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I skimmed this a little bit when you sent this article to me, but I'm going to tell you. I'm going to be honest with you. Tell you what I knew already.
Okay.
And everything. That's for the gypsies.
Yes.
Used to scam people out of money and stuff, and not give them the correct change and that type of thing.
Correct.
So that's why if you gypped me 50 cents out of that or whatever, that's where that comes from.
So the question is...
but as a gypsy isn't a race, so that can't possibly be racist. Next.
Okay. Yeah, I mean...
and he wonders why I used a marker. He gives me these pens that barely write.
It will
but
help
go ahead.
if you have 2 pieces of paper.
It will?
Yes. You'll be amazed how much better it will write. Look at that.
A little bit.
Can you guys hear this? Hold on.
Go ahead. No, good. I just needed to make that little bit. Oh my God, Scott's got like this backpack and everything, like he's in college.
This pen right here.
It's awesome.
That pen.
Huge. Oh.
These are so
that's
good.
Nice pen.
Those
that's
pens
nice.
are so good. That
nice
is
pen.
Nice ink. All right. So you don't think that one is? Well, one thing I did, and this might be interesting to some of the users here, is this means to be cheated, swindled, or taken advantage of in modern vernacular, but it's referring to a very specific subset of people in a very negative way. The word comes from the already offensive term gypsy, which is often used in an inappropriate...
offensive term.
Yeah, describe Romani people. Now, this was interesting. When the Romani moved from India to Europe, they were mistaken for Egyptians because of their dark skin, so they were dubbed gypsies.
Ah, okay.
Now that's
okay.
New. Okay.
All right. I didn't know that. Okay, go ahead.
But now, how often do you watch, or have you ever watched My Big Fat Gypsy Wedding? Have you ever? Are you aware of this show?
Isn't it My Big Fat Greek Wedding?
No. There is a TV show. My wife could tell you what channel it's on, but it's My Big Fat Gypsy Wedding. TV. Well, you need to.
No, I don't. I watch Twilight Zone. That's it.
Okay. Well, they follow
He-Man cartoons.
They follow these gypsies around and watch, and they film their whole wedding. And
You sure this isn't Greek?
I'm absolutely sure.
Okay.
It's My Big Fat Gypsy Wedding.
Okay.
And they're following these gypsies. There's a lot of those. A lot of them, at least the ones they're following, are like in New Jersey, over in West Virginia. And when I watch this show, all I can think of is like, these gypsies don't understand that the entire goal of this show is to mock them.
Okay.
Because it does not display them in a flattering way, any way, shape, or form. And there's a part of me that thinks, like, I don't watch it all the time, but I'm thinking, man, these... They are the butt of this joke, and because it does not, like I said, it does not portray them in a positive light in any way. There's none of them that are like curing cancer or doing anything really positive. All they seems to do is they want to get married in some crazy outfits and have fights. Boy, did they love to fight.
Okay, well, are there? And to be fair, are there shows about white people curing cancer?
Sure.
Like what? My Big
Grey's
Fat
Anatomy?
Caucasian Wedding.
Grey's Anatomy.
They cure cancer?
Yeah.
Oh, man. And in the same respect, do you think the Kardashian show portrays them in a positive light in any way?
No, you're absolutely right.
Well, all right.
But that's like
they're
a
all
family.
fucking idiots.
That's a family. It's called the Kardashians.
True.
This is saying to a whole race or this whole subset of people called gypsies. Like, I don't know.
But they're not subsets. They're not. A gypsy is not race.
Well, they identify as that. They say, I am a gypsy. And
they're fucking stupid.
Well, and they'll say, I'm this certain type of gypsy.
They're not. That's not a race.
Okay.
I mean, look up. I'll bet you, even if you look up on Facebook, they got all these fucking made up gender and all this shit, bull crap, whatever. Look up anything that shows me that gypsy is a race.
Is it a culture?
Maybe. Sure. Okay. There's a big difference between a race and a culture.
I agree.
I mean, come on.
Look, I'm just a white guy. I don't know anything. Mm-hmm. All right. Next one. No can do and long time no see. Ready? This is racist.
Yeah, I'm ready.
No can do and long time no see. Out of all the expressions on this page, you've most likely said these at some point. It might be surprising to see that these seemingly innocuous phrases are on the list, but they're actually born out of mean-spirited mockery. In the early 20th century, no can do and other broken English phrases were a way to make fun of how Chinese immigrants and other ESL people, which I don't know what ESL, I have no idea, what ESL people attempted to communicate. The same goes for a long time no see, which was used to mock Native American pidgin English speaking patterns. So there's stuff like this almost kind of reminds me of like almost a little bit of like Chief Wahoo, that like in your head you never saw the racist tone to it. And so you've been saying it your whole life, like, oh, you jip me. All right. So I've been using that for a long time. Or long time no see. Hey, long time no see. There's no part of me that is saying that, like looking around going, hope there's no Chinese around because this is going to offend them. I don't realize that if that's true, if this is true, there's no part of me that sees it as racist. So therefore, once this is brought to light, now what? So are you going to say long time no see anymore? And if you do,
fuck yeah, I am.
Okay. I don't know.
Why wouldn't I?
I don't know.
Let me ask you this. Okay, does the origin of something make a difference?
Does the origin? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you still, even though you know that Christmas was started by pagans, do you still celebrate Christmas?
Yes.
Why?
Because I can basically reinterpret it. I can basically say that may be what it was meant for, but this is how we're going to celebrate. This is the spirit that we're going to use.
There you go. You just answered your own fucking question.
So that's why I can say long time no see?
Yeah. Okay. That's how I interpret it. Okay. That may be what it was back then. This is how I'm going to do it.
Okay. So are you thinking then, but because here's the thing about offense, is that oftentimes it doesn't matter that you don't personally feel it's offensive. The whole idea is how is it received by someone else?
Oh, God, I don't care about how it's received by somebody else. What do you think about that?
I'm not surprised.
Okay.
First.
Right. But shouldn't my intent be the main thing behind that.
Intent. But you just said, I don't care how they did.
Well, I don't. Well, exactly. Yeah. Well, my intent isn't that I'm racist when I say long time no see. I will bet you. I would literally bet you $1,000 that if you found the first Asian person, Chinese person you saw on the street and asked them if they knew that was supposedly racist, they'd go, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Right.
They would have no idea.
Yeah.
Nobody knows that. Nobody knows that until you read an article that's supposedly real. But what if it's not? What if it was, a long time no see? So what? I don't know. I mean, it seems very normal to say that. Like,
I don't know.
I haven't seen you for a long time. I haven't seen you for a long time. It's as simple as that.
I would want to talk to Patrick Allen, who wrote this, and go, "What's your intent with this article? Is that you want us to stop saying no can do and long time no see? Are you wanting us to stop this, or are you just kind of bring it to our mind? Are you wanting us to?
Does there have to be an intent? I mean, it's just a matter of just letting people know.
But we'll let them know for what? Like there surely is an intent behind it. And I'm curious as to what his is. All right, other terms, and we'll talk about these if you want. Paddy wagon, Paddy.
I knew that.
Paddy
one.
wagon. Yeah, off the reservation.
I never really heard that expression before.
You're off the reservation?
Yeah. Is that like voted off the island?
No, like
I mean, I can imagine
this
how
guy
it's
is
bad.
off the reservation. This guy, so
like
some
crazy.
Yeah, like
like a few French fries short of a Happy Meal.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, this dude's off the reservation.
That's probably racist, by the way, because mostly white people eat McDonald's.
This was a surprising one. Uppity. Yeah. Uppity. This word is often used to describe someone who's being arrogant or self-important, like, don't get all uppity on us. But it has a pretty disturbing history. It was originally a racist term used in the American South to describe black people who didn't know their place. It was usually part of a two-word descriptor that I'm sure you can guess on your own. So in other words, like, oh, this uppity N-word.
Right.
Bugger.
Not but booger. See, this is a thing, though, too, with all of this stuff. How do you know this is real?
Oh, I don't know.
See, that's what I'm saying.
But to somebody, this is real. To somebody,
no, sure, I understand.
To Patrick Allen, this is very real.
Yeah. It's just like, people talk about the nanny dog with the pit bulls or whatever, and it was like made up. But it's just repeated enough that people
believe it.
People believe it.
Yeah.
So
bugger. You're more likely to hear this term in Great Britain than the States. It's a full-on curse word. Well, where it is a full-on. Yeah. So where they might use it.
Bugger.
Anyway, the word comes from a heretical religious sect during the Middle Ages called the Bulgaris, who practiced sodomy. Over time, the term transformed into bulgar.
What's sodomy?
And then bugger. Essentially, the word means Bulgarian sodomite.
What's sodomy, Scott?
I believe it's referring to anal sex and oral sex.
Okay, I just wanted you to say that.
Yeah. Sold down the river.
Okay.
You got sold.
That's probably a slave thing. Yeah. Whatever. Okay.
Let me see if there's any more. That was the last one. That was the last one that he chose to listen here. So terms that their origin is racist. So the question I guess we're asking is, just because its origin was racist, does that mean that I can't say it? Or that's what I think that you're promoting, or that's what you're trying to say here, is that just because that's the original, I can still say it without that intent, therefore it's not racist.
What do you think?
Well, I think that offense is in the eyes of the
beer holder
or the ears of the hearer. And give an example. Guess what? Donald Trump.
Okay.
So Pocahontas, when where does he make this statement? He makes a statement. I know this guy. He's perfect. Listen, these people, you might want to bash him, especially like Trevor Noah and Stephen Colbert. But I ask you, where would your show be right now if he hadn't been elected?
True.
You need to say a big thank you to him. So when he makes this statement, he has these I don't know if they were the wind talkers, those guys that came in and they basically helped the United States by, we could go ahead and send these messages in Indian, and the Germans or Japanese, whatever, they couldn't understand it. So in front of them, he says, hey, we got a senator down here who thinks she's Indian. We call her Pocahontas. So these people lose, people on the left lost their absolute minds because now this is racist. Till the next day, when they speak to one of these Indians, they go, hey, did that bother you? No, it didn't bother me. It didn't bother me, they said.
It not bother me.
Yeah, that's exactly what they said.
Yeah.
Yeah, stands with a fist said it didn't bother him.
Dances with wolves said.
And
Kevin Costner said it didn't bother him.
Yeah. And so what was really interesting was when the same Indian guy says back to these reporters, the reporters by which I'm sure were not happy to hear him say that he wasn't offended. But he said, yeah, I kind of felt it was the same way as like when I was in the Air Force and before we jumped out of the plane, we would say Geronimo.
Sure.
That's what he said. I can appreciate that. Like, I think that what people have to do, Jeff, is exactly what you're asking, and that is looking at you and considering you as the source to say, is this person saying this, is their intent racist? Because they're saying, oh, you gypped me out of town. Is that their intent? That they're really trying to run down gypsies? Or, oh, he's off the reservation. Is it really to mock? So Donald Trump, I don't believe that his thing with Pocahontas is actually racist. I'm sorry.
I don't believe that either, just because it's a dig on her. And the reason, this is what people lose sight of, is that the reason he's calling her that is because she put that on a college application.
Yeah, for a job
or
of some sort.
or some sort of application. Exactly, it shows she's a minority. So I don't understand how that's. Again, that's kind of what we talked about earlier about I don't understand how he's not saying white people are superior to them or whatever, but he's poking fun at her, not Indian
Correct.
people,
Where
Native American.
Yes, where I think that some of these comments could have actually become racist is like, for instance, Laura Ingraham. If she'd said something like "shut up and dribble, monkey." Now we're having different kind of conversation.
You think?
Now we've moved it.
Oh, how about that HKM kid or whatever, that the coolest monkey in the jungle?
Yes, but as Michael pointed out, the company that does this, H&M, they're a company from London or the UK, and in that culture, if what Michael's saying is true, and he's a known liar, but he said that monkey in that area is not. They don't link that to a racist term at all. So if in fact that's true, well then there was no racist term at all, whether it was going to be worn by a black kid or a white kid.
Does it matter though? You said that.
Because
it's how.
Yeah, because
it's in the intent or in the ear holder.
Because of the filter that people are going to run it through. There are some people that it would appear to me seem to be just. Everything is racist, and I don't necessarily. I'm sure they're right some of the time, but not every time are you right. At the same time, I'm sure there's stuff that I don't attribute to race. I know. I'm sure there's stuff that I don't attribute to being racist that maybe it is, but I'm going to have that shown to me. I'm not just going to believe it's racist because you say it is. And I wish that as a society, that's more where we were. Like, if you're going to say something or someone is racist, if you're making the allegation, then it's up to you to prove that. You have the burden of proof. You can't just throw that term around.
But then those people would say there is no burden of proof. You know it's racist. They were saying whatever, and it's indicative of blah blah blah.
Yeah, and they're talking about this unconscious bias that people have. Yeah. That's rather convenient, and I'm not going to. I cannot accept that. This term is so destructive, and it's so serious. That if you are going to make it, then doggone it, you better have thought about it, and you better be able to prove it. Same way, if somebody's going to say, this happened, like he raped me, or they broke into my house, or they committed this crime, you can't just say these things because people lie.
Sure.
People take advantage.
I don't believe anything anybody says.
That may be a safe place.
I'm just saying. I mean, hey, that's why I changed my little bio thing there on Facebook. It's just one sentence thing. Everything's bullshit. Everybody lies anymore. Everybody's just, it's always that little twist, that little, thing. I don't know. It just drives me nuts.
Well, there's lies, damn lies, and then there's statistics.
Sure.
And people will take those things to try to prop up or to support or to validate their perspective. Everybody bends it to their liking. And I don't think that you and I are probably any different.
Sure. No, I understand. Yeah. I mean, you can, again, I mean, everybody always talks about this whole, making fun of Trump with the alternative facts, thing. But believe it or not, it's true.
Correct.
It's true. There are alternative facts. Yeah. I mean, I always point to this thing. Okay. You can go talking about unemployment rate. Yeah. Okay. Under Obama, supposedly, it went down. Okay. Yeah. So you could say that's a fact. Under Obama, it went down.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what they don't say is that the way that they calculated it within the span of Obama was completely changed. So those are two facts. It was, you could say that it, according to the old way of calculating it, it went up. According to the new way of calculating it, it went down. So both sides are right.
Yeah.
And they're alternative facts. So it's hard to discern between it's one of those things. How do you want to look at it? How do you want to interpret everything?
There needs to be an objective way where we can conclude these
things. All this stuff boils down to the fact of, I always said the internet is one of the greatest inventions of mankind, and the internet is one of the worst inventions of mankind because it gives everybody it's great because it gives everybody a voice.
Yeah.
And it's bad because it gives everybody a voice. Because it's hard. I distinctly remember. I'm not kidding. I'm not. I'm no Nostradamus type of guy.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying. I distinctly remember at the beginning of the when the internet was happening, and you could kind of start to, it was in that span of a couple years or whatever, and you're like, oh my God, like all the information in the world is going to be available to us. We're going to be able to look stuff up like that. We won't have to go to the library anymore. We don't have to rely on encyclopedias at home. We don't, we're going to be able to find out all this information for ourselves. Well, we can until everybody starts putting up bullshit.
Yeah.
Or their facts or their opinions and passing them off as facts.
Right.
And that's a real problem.
Yeah. Like Wikipedia.
Yeah,
Wikipedia is a great example that my favorite thing I ever saw on Wikipedia was Terry Bradshaw when it was giving his bio and it said his mother was a polar bear and his father was a grizzly bear. It was right there, because,
You're sure?
Yeah, because people can go in there and they can modify it at all. Now,
sure.
A large part of the stuff that you find on Wikipedia is legitimate.
Sure, yeah.
But this cannot be your end all be all source. All right, you have to look around.
Well, like my friend, like Mike always says, he says Googling isn't research.
No.
And he's right. I mean, just because you can find something on Google doesn't mean that it's right. I mean, I can find as soon as I get in an argument with somebody on Facebook, I can sit there and Google something. And I can go through all these different articles that say that other person's right, but I can find one that says I'm right.
Absolutely.
And I could put and which one do you think I put up? Yeah. I put that one up. I said right there, fucker.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Well, I guess if I had to give any closing thought to this,
it was like a Jerry Springer closing thought.
Yeah, closing thought with Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
I would say this is that I acknowledge that there is real racism out there. But I believe that we should tread that very carefully. And I think that as a society, it seems that it's far too easy to go ahead and label someone or something racist. And I think that we should just be very cautious with that because it's a real thing and it can do real damage.
Absolutely.
Now, if it's legitimate racism, then it needs to be called exactly what it is.
Absolutely.
But if this continues on, when real racism does come up, it's just not going to mean anything because we've used the word so often.
Well, my closing thought is to expound upon that a little bit is they talk about. I've met several black people who will say that black people cannot be racist,
and that's not true.
And it's not true. But
Chris Rock said that.
But a lot of people say that they do, and the reason that they say that is because they say, well. Black people aren't in power, so they can't. And the whole point of racism is putting yourself in being able to keep your thumb on that person or whatever. There's plenty of bosses at work that are black. That could, if they were racist and they didn't like white people, they could. They were in a position of power and influence where they could make their lives hell or fire them or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So we need to acknowledge that it happens on all fronts, and
So, I'm sorry, here we are almost closing, and I'm going to add one more thing. Sure. So with this definition of racist, whether it being inferior or superiority, that's part of it. There's also this portion in which when you start attributing certain negative aspects to the entire race.
Stereotypes.
Yeah, that's a problem. So presuming or like, oh, he's black, he plays basketball, or he's white, he's great at math, or he's this.
Might be Asian.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Because Asians are really good at math.
Yeah. I think that is problematic, and it's not necessarily therefore saying it is inferior or superior. It's just coloring the whole group with this one thing.
Right. But in that same respect, would it fall under the umbrella of racism if it was a good thing? Like we said,
Yes.
hey,
yes, it is. It is still wrong.
Okay.
Because it is not necessarily true. So let's.
Like they say, black guys have.
Here we go. So predictable.
Go
ahead.
What?
Can't wait to hear it. Go ahead.
Predictable because it just popped in my head, but I mean, it's true. Like, would you be upset with the stereotype that all white guys had huge dicks? Would you? I wouldn't. I'd be like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah. That's not a bad stereotype. I mean, so what? Okay. Yeah, all black guys have big wieners. We know that they don't. Well, I guess I don't really know, but all the movies I've seen, they do.
Yeah.
That's all I can go by. I don't think I've ever seen one in real life, just on the computer screen. Mm-hmm. But if you know what I'm saying.
Not in high school, didn't see?
No, I went to Brunswick. There was like one black guy. I didn't see any wieners in high school. I didn't play sports or anything. We didn't shower. I don't think. I mean, it's not like we were like showing our dicks to each other. I mean, what kind of high school did you go to?
There was it was a communal shower. It was horrible.
Really?
It was a shower, and it was in the middle of the shower room. There was this one pole that went up, and there were like 7 different shower heads that came off there.
Oh my God!
And so listen to me. You're getting showered. You're looking directly at the guy across from you. They basically couldn't have made it any more
awkward.
There's
no pole there in the middle or anything?
There's no pole. There's no little slides.
Wow.
It's just the pole with 7
slides. Okay.
Yeah, you couldn't. There was no shower curtains. Nothing. You're just staring at everybody else's junk.
What school did you go to?
This was a boarding academy.
A what?
A boarding academy. Like we lived there.
Oh.
So yeah, your room was there.
Oh, so oh my God, you really have white privilege, huh? So did you?
There were people of every race.
Oh,
there
get the fuck out of here!
Absolutely.
How many black guys were there?
Well,
percentage-wise, roughly, ballpark.
Well, it was a small school.
Okay.
It was a small school.
Did you ever fag it up?
No.
Okay.
No. I don't know what that even means.
Well, then how can you answer that if you don't know what it means?
Because if you asked it, I knew it was negative.
Gay type of activities ever happen?
No, not that I'm aware of. Really? I think that there probably may have been.
Okay.
In fact, I'm sure there were, but not that I partook in.
Okay. Did you watch?
No, I was unaware of anything like that. But there was a rather large black community there, black guys and black girls. There was a number of kids like that.
Really?
Yeah, there was. I mean, it wasn't like an all-black school or an all-white school. It was a really pretty good mix. There were Asians, there were blacks. It was a lot of every race.
Man. Wow. Any Native Americans?
No, not that I
any gypsies?
Recall. No, not any gypsies. That would be too much.
Sure. Any Antarcticans?
No, no Eskimos either that I can think of. Shit. Is that a race?
Sure.
Eskimo?
Yeah, I believe it is.
Well, the point is, there are some stereotypes that, as a people, we don't tend to get too offended by because they're good with money or because they're smart at math.
Asians.
It's only the negative.
Let's play this game, man. You give me a stereotype and I'll tell you what race it is. Go ahead. Come on.
I'm not indulging you in this. I didn't realize how much work this podcast would actually be, that I have to put so much thought into everything I'm saying.
Right.
But the bottom line is, like, for me, I try not to be offensive. I mean, it's going to sound hard to say. I try not to be racist because I just say what I say and I think what I think. Yeah. But I'm open. If somebody were to tell me, hey, I think that's kind of, okay, well, I'm open to that. I'm not going to just like, to hell with you. If I know that something genuinely would bother you, I'm not going to intentionally just go ahead and say that, whether it be racist or sexist or whatever.
I see it.
There's a limit to it.
That's where we're different. But because, nothing drives me more crazy. Like, I know that I'm not racist. just, I know deep down, you know what I mean, how I am and how I feel and all of that stuff. So when somebody calls me and says, I think that's racist, my intention isn't to be racist. So I consider the source, like you say, and I say, who the fuck are you to judge what I'm saying? And if I were to tell them, hey, I think that by you saying I'm racist, that's racist, then they would be all up in arms and say, oh, well, I don't think so. Well, I don't think so either. So we'll just go on our separate ways. And I'll keep saying, talk to you soon, or whatever the fuck that was. You're long time no see. Talk to you soon. whatever it was.
I personally wish that as people, we could get to a point, like when you have close friends, you give them nicknames because of stupid things they've done. Like, I don't know, like
Snake,
or like
Knife, Slash.
I think about like Tommy 2 times, because he said everything. Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
Oh, right, so, right. Or like Johnny fuck you in the ass. That was a guy from college.
So I wish that we were, that it could be almost like that. Like, but there has to be.
You need to laugh more in life, Scott. You know,
I do laugh plenty. I do laugh plenty. I wish that we could get to a point where we could mock each other. Like, I have friends of other races and other genders and other sexual orientations that because we have that relationship, I can go ahead and I can mock them. I can
say, hey, what's up, faggot? You do that?
Well, I don't do that, but I could make fun of the stereotypes. Like, if I have one of my black friends come in the room, all of a sudden I hurry up and grab my wallet and then laugh about it.
Oh, that's not cool, man. That's that's just playing into your racism.
I wish that as people in general, we could be more like that.
No, I agree. And honestly, it is one of those things. Okay, say like fuck, nobody's going to be listening. Like, well, this person isn't going to be listening. That's what I mean. I have a lesbian lady that I work with, older lesbian lady.
Yeah.
And she's very like uptight about everything, so you can't joke at all about it. Like, it would be great if we could just all joke about things and stuff and have that rapport and everything. But some people are just so uptight. And again, this comes back to way before with the mental issues and everything. I think she's really she has some mental issues. I'm not saying just because she's gay, but she's had like literal breakdowns at work, crying and all kinds of things. So, but there is zero freaking chance that you can joke with her about,
Melissa Etheridge.
Melissa Etheridge saying, "Hey, did you get the new Melissa Etheridge? I figured you'd like that, or whatever." I mean,
see, I wish that could happen. Because I think that's legitimately funny.
It's funny. I have a buddy at work who he's kind of like you. He's 50. He's like 50, and he listens to terrible music.
Yeah.
So he just told. I'm not even kidding you. He just told me the story yesterday about how he loves all these like really kind of gay like performers or whatever. But he swears he's not gay. He's not gay. But he loves like Tori Amos and oh shit, I hit the microphone. Tori Amos and Ani DeFranco and Melissa Etheridge. And, all this stuff. And he was just saying he'll even say when he goes to like see Tori Amos, he always gets like really good seats and everything. He is like literally like one of the only guys there. And he goes with his buddy, and everybody always just assumes that they're gay. And he swears that he's not or whatever, but I'm just saying. But anyway, so he said he distinctly remembers going to see Melissa Etheridge, and the first time when he found out she was gay, he's like, this was like 10 years before she came out or anything.
Yeah.
And he said he's sitting there with his buddy, and he like looks over, and these two chicks are like making out, and he's like, he like nudges his buddy, he's like, hey, look at that, and he's like, and he starts looking around, and he goes, he sees more. More chicks, and then it's like he's like, it's like a light went off. He's like, holy shit, I think Melissa Etheridge, might be gay too. Like, holy crap. Like, and I think it's funny that there's like this gaydar, like even though she didn't come out.
And his is clearly broken.
His is clearly broken for sure. But there's, she never came out about, being gay but yet there's this huge gay following to her music. It's It's uncanny.
Yeah.
And hey, that's cool. Whatever. I mean, I don't care what people listen to, whatever. But I mean, I like making fun of people about it as evidence with you a lot.
Yes.
But
but that's me.
But that's fine. I mean,
really
hey, if you want to be gay, that's cool.
I love just poking fun, not to try to piss them off. I think
Right.
you do want to piss them off. I just liked us to be able to laugh about stuff.
Right.
That means so much to me. In my mind, it speaks to the relationship that we have, that we can be that close. Because the thing is, I'm never like if a black friend walks in and I hurry and I grab my wallet, I'm making fun of the stereotype. I'm really saying the absolute opposite.
You're saying the opposite, exactly. You're saying because you're making it so obvious and everything. You're saying it's the opposite of like opposite comedy. Like I don't have to worry about that with you because you are not like that. Yeah, I know. But that's the thing. Like if I was gay, whenever I do come out eventually, just own it and be funny about it and be cool about it and just embrace that stuff. And I really do think that's a huge problem with things. Like if we all were just cool about things and laughed more at ourselves and all of that, like, I love a good white joke as much as I love a good black joke. It's funny as, sometimes they're funny as hell.
Yeah.
I mean, there's tons of like, jokes about white serial killers because that's all the only whites. The killers are always white, white males, and it's true.
Yeah.
So,
All right. So the bottom line is we wish there were no racism. We wish that as people, we could just chill out and without fear of hurting somebody's feelings, make fun of them. That's really what I want to do.
Right, sure. And in that same respect, we'd hope that they could make fun of us as well. That's
exactly
cool.
Right. That's exactly right. I think it's a healthy kind of environment that we ingest and in love in some way go ahead and poke fun. And we're making fun of the stereotype, not the actual person themselves.
Sure. And in what you're saying, it's all the complete opposite when you're doing that. Yes.
Now, I know now I can remember what I was going to say, and that is the people that are rather uptight about this kind of stuff, I have to at least give them some grace and acknowledge that perhaps they've dealt with something.
Sure, real. I understand.
And that is still, so I want to give them time. But my point is that I would hope that we could finally all get to a point where we can, that's what I really think Martin Luther King was talking about, is I look forward to a time where little black boys and girls can hold hands with,
can make fun of each other.
And they can make fun of each other.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not just standing holding hands, but like, are we so comfortable with each other that we can lovingly tease each other and each laugh?
See, I think that, and not to get into semantics here, whatever, but you keep saying making fun of, and people are going to have a problem with that. Teasing is a great word. Like teasing is just slightly ribbing. Making fun of is. It seems more abrasive to me.
Okay. Well,
teasing.
Whatever word.
And I know I'm just, whatever.
No, but that's important because people get caught up in those words.
People get caught up in the words. Exactly.
And so the concept here is the way you and your friends treat each other. And you joke them about past relationships. You tease them about they're out of work. You tease them about their hair. We should be able to do that regardless of the race or the gender or even the sexual orientation of that person. We need to be able to be healthy enough and comfortable enough in who we are and who they are that we can do that stuff without fear. That's what I would hope for. That's what we're about here at What's Offensive Weekly.
That's what Scott's about, not me.
Yeah. Anyway. All right, guys. Thanks again for listening. Don't forget to check us out at www.consideringthesource.com. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at What's Off Weekly. And also, don't forget to visit iconicphotographer.com.
Boom.
You can see some of Jeff's work. It really is amazing. It really is amazing. And don't forget, I want to find out about that clock in the windowsill. So, hey, everybody, thanks again for listening. We'll see you guys next time.
Keep getting offended.